morning because it's only 11 o'clock. I have not vlogged at all this morning, but I was just watching Conference. I slept in this morning, and then I watched Conference, and now I'm headed to my bishop's house to watch the second episode of Conference because there's people from the ward that are going to be there. Last night was a lot of fun. We're at James's house, and her dad came over, and a couple of her uncles and her aunt, and James of course was there, and yeah, anyway, it was a lot of fun. We just had bacon spaghetti because that's what Christina wanted, and salad and French bread that had, you know, melted cheese on it and butter and garlic. Oh, so good. So Marie and I went over there about like 5:30, and after picking up Maria, we ran to the dollar store because I wanted to get a couple balloons for Christina, and Maria did as well. And then we went over to James's. Then he had to run to the store, so we went back to the Dollar Tree and this grocery store and got the bread, and he needed to get a few things at the dollar store. And then we went back to his house and we just cooked dinner and everything. His family came over. We had, like I said, bacon spaghetti, French bread salad, and then we played a couple of rounds of catchphrase, and I wasn't on my game as well as I normally was during that game. You know, I'm actually really good at catchphrase, and this time I just was not doing very hot. And then after that, Christina's uncle left because I guess his wife had hurt her back, so he wasn't at James's for very long. And then, let's see, after that, we just kind of hung out. Christina opened her presents. I didn't really get her anything yet because, like I said, I'm kind of having a hard time with money right now, but that's okay. Christina's dad stayed the entire time that I was there. Her other uncle and his wife left about, I would say about 10-ish. And then we just finished Transformers. Transformers was playing like the entire time we were eating dinner and stuff, and nobody was really paying that much attention to it. After that, we watched a couple of movies. Let's see, we watched the end of We Are the Millers, and then we watched Cheaper by the Dozen 2, because we just had whatever was on HBO. And then after that, we watched The Conjuring, which I had never seen that movie, and actually, I was actually really surprised. I was thinking that it was going to be a little bit more scarier than it was. I mean, it was still scary, like, by all means, yeah, but it wasn't as scary as I thought it was. And I was like, really, we're going to watch a scary movie when I'm going to my parents' house, and I'm going to be by myself, and anyway, but no, like I said, it wasn't overly scary. I was actually really surprised. And then I had kind of dozed off. I was like in and out of sleep during The Conjuring. And then after The Conjuring, I just took Maria home, and then I went home. So I got home about 2 o'clock in the morning. No, we left James about 2 o'clock in the morning, I think. I don't know. I got home somewhere between 1:30 and 2. And I slept in this morning. I slept until about 8:30, and then I watched Conference. And then, like I said, now I'm headed to my bishop's house. So I haven't really done anything very exciting today. Conference has been awesome. Oh, by the way, during Conference, I got a call from Elise, and she was like, I know you're watching Conference, but I had to call you and tell you. And I was like, what? I felt the baby move for the first time. So she was so excited about that. And I mean, of course, like, that's like, you know, such a cool feeling, you know, to feel your baby for the first time. And I mean, of course, and this is her first baby too, so, you know, so she has never felt a baby move before. So, you know, that was just so exciting to her. And anyway, so we just talked for a while. So there's a group of friends. I mean, I'm not really part of that group, but I know them and I'm acquainted with them. There's Bree, Trish, Liz, and Elise. They have all had or have had or having babies kind of around the same time. Bree has already had her baby. Her baby's only like maybe 4 months old, I think, something like that, 4 or 5 months old. And Liz is due soon. Trish is due in January, and Elise is due in February. So yeah, like, so it was just all 4 of them got pregnant at the same time. So that's just, I think, was pretty funny. Like I said, I'm on my way to my bishop's house. I know this has been kind of like a really random update, but I just want to kind of tell you what happened last night because I didn't vlog really at Christina's birthday party. Hey guys, it's like 4 o'clock pretty much, and I just left my bishop's house. There was a ton of people there. There was actually a lot more people there than I originally thought there was going to be there. But anyway, conference was amazing. I was just live tweeting throughout the entire conference, just tweeting some of my favorite quotes and whatnot. And oh my gosh, Elder Bednar's talk was absolutely amazing. He was actually talking about why members are so excited and wanting to talk about the gospel. And he used an analogy that his 2 sons playing outside, and one of them got hurt, and so he was talking about how when they both came inside and they climbed up on the counter, and the son that wasn't hurt took some soap and water and was kind of cleaning out the wound, and obviously that hurt, and he kind of was analogizing that to how sins are, I guess. And then he was talking about how the ointment, then his son put ointment on, and like that ointment was soothing, and it felt better than cleaning out the wound. So, you know, even though I guess the atonement can sometimes be hard, it still has a soothing effect, I guess. It's kind of like what I gathered from it. He put band-aids on it, the wound, and I don't remember exactly what that represented. And then what happened was his son took all the band-aids and the ointment and everything and went outside to all of his friends. I'm obviously not doing the story justice, but anyways, but basically what he analogized that to was that, you know, his son wanted to show something that was beneficial to him, you know, and that helped him, and he wanted to share that with his friends. And that's kind of how we should be about the gospel. Like, the gospel is supposed to be helpful to us. Anyway, I know I'm not doing this story justice at all. If I can link it below or find it at some point, I will try and find it. But no, it was an amazing talk. It was awesome. But anyway, I am now headed to my apartment because I am going back to my bishop's tomorrow because they're playing the game tomorrow at their house. They're watching the game, and so I'm going to go over to his house to watch the game tomorrow after work. So I need to go to my house to pick up my jersey because I don't have my jersey. Hey guys, I went home for a little while. Sorry, I'm on the freeway and my windows are rolled down. Well, let me roll them up so you can hear me. Okay, sorry, I'll just be hot for a little bit. Anyway, like I was saying, I stopped at home to get some clothes, and I hung out with my roommate for a little bit because, you know, we haven't really seen each other in like forever because she was gone for a week, and then I've been gone pretty much all this week. And anyway, we were just kind of talking, and we were watching this YouTuber. I don't know what his name is, but the channel is called fouseytube or something like that. Anyway, they do pranks and they also do experiments. And one of the experiments that I was watching, it was a really interesting experiment. It was called the kidnapping child experiment. Basically what they did is they would, you know, have a guy and a child, and the guy was the kidnapper, and they would see what people would do in that situation if they saw somebody being kidnapped. And the child would be like, you know, I lost my mom, and this guy with a jacket took me, and, you know, whatever. And they were kind of seeing what a person would do in that situation. One of the experiments, the kidnapper said, you know, oh, it was so convincing, like, oh, you know, I took away his Xbox, so he's saying that he was kidnapped and whatever. And the guy was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, blah, 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 blah. You know, and it's scary to think that that is so true. That totally would probably happen. And, like, oh my gosh, that's just so scary to me. There was one other guy who I totally loved. He was just like, dude, you need to back off. Like, he was like pushing the guy, like the kidnapper, and saying, you know, you need to back up, and like gave the guy his phone. It's like, you call your mom and whatever. And oh my gosh, like, it's just scary to think like what could happen. Like, that is really, really scary to me. It just really opened your eyes. It's kind of like one of those situations where, like, it's the, you know, the TV show What Would You Do? So yeah, it was just a really interesting situation. Like, I honestly don't know what I would do if a child ran up to me and told me that they were kidnapped. I mean, obviously if they looked really scared, I would try to do something. But, you know, the thing is too, is like, several of the comments were saying, you know, well, that's just stupid because the, sorry, I'm looking for this. Sorry, I was waiting for an ambulance to drive by. But anyway, like I was saying, some of the comments were just like, that's just stupid, because when the guy asked, oh yeah, are you really his father? They were like, oh, well, you know, the child could have said no, and they would have done something. I'm like, thinking that's just so stupid, because the child would have been seriously afraid. And also, what about Stockholm Syndrome? There's so many captives, there's so many captives that bond with their captors, you know, like, hello, Elizabeth Smart, for example. Like, the police officer had to take her away to ask her, are you sure you're not Elizabeth Smart? Like, away from the person, you know. Like, that just bogged my mind that they were like, oh, well, that's just stupid. The kid could have just said, no, that guy's not my father, blah, 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 blah. No, like, that ain't even the case. But anyway, I will link that video below, because it was a really, really interesting video. It like totally opened my eyes to what could happen. Like, I mean, especially like, you hear about all these different situations where people have been rescued after being captive for several years, like, you know, like Elizabeth Smart, even though it wasn't several years, JC Dugard, those 3 girls. It's so interesting, all the stories you hear nowadays about all these kidnap victims being rescued. Anyways, well, I'm on my way to my parents' house. This girl is like so tired because I had to give her a bath because she decided she wanted to pee in her bed. Oh, she's so cute though. I can't be mad at her. As much as I want to be, I can't be mad at you, baby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina. Happy birthday.